naman at nakaikot tayo dito. Ang ganda ng lugar.
No, ang ganda talaga makikita. Ngayon na tayo nakapasok.
Mas na-appreciate ko siya kasi the first time I was here, maraming tao.
During the inauguration,
Yes.
no? I think this was inaugurated noong September 20.
Yeah.
Tama?
Kaya ano yung January daw?
Parang soft opening yan.
So,
Yes, the open days. Tapos pero yung formal inauguration happened.
ayaw may piya kayo tayo na yung
Yeah,
September.
wala tayong idea na yung class project pala natin ganito kaganda.
Yeah.
No? Kasi we contributed to this.
At least ganito, no? You know where your money went.
Tsaka napakaganda kasi it's something na hindi natin na-experience.
This is something new, groundbreaking for the
Innovative. I mean, it's a new way of teaching, so it challenges us, the faculty, also to learn at the same time, so be learners also with our students.
Paano ba tayo natuto ng skills? Sige nga, paano?
Sa tao na
So
sa
learn one, do one, and teach one.
Sa actual person.
Yeah.
Samantalang dito, pwede na nilang practicein yung skills sa mga mannequins na ang gaganda.
So yung refinement, yung like techniques, yeah.
So lesser
Very
ang
nice.
possibility of injuries.
morbidity.
Kaya nung nalaman ko na pang clinical simulation lab yung project natin, I was really very happy na it turns out na napakaganda ng mga contribute natin sa college.
Alright, so Leonard, we came from the OR setup now. So here, we're in the task trainers room where students can practice already the different procedures like IV insertion, breast examination, blood extraction, and also pelvic exam and catheterization.
May circumcision din.
Ayun, and the circumcision.
O di ba?
Yeah.
Nahirapan ka nga dun sa retroverted, ano?
Yan, nung tinry ko kanina, muntik pa akong mapahiya.
So yeah, so aside from that, there's also a childbirth sim area where patients can, let's go over there.
Okay. Ito yung favorite room ko out of all the simulation rooms kasi this is the OB room. And ito si Lucina, the model for the normal delivery, right? At ito yung baby niya. May pangalan yung baby niya.
Wala, Lucina, baby.
Baby girl.
Ang galing, no? The students can actually
Gumagalaw ang patama yan!
They can actually simulate childbirth dito. No?
Yeah.
And all the other drills.
All the maneuvers, like shoulder dystocia, do vacuum extraction,
Bridge
forceps.
delivery.
Yeah.
So for both normal and abnormal situations, emergency, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll ask the professors, the doctors to give a scenario that they want simulated. So they also have modules for postpartum hemorrhage, for uterine adenine, uterine inversion. So yeah.
Tapos yung SimTech, i-input nila yan dun sa computer. Tapos yun ang gagawin ng
Kailangan the consultant should be very detailed para alam ng mga bata kung how to approach these emergencies or whatever.
Pero kahit face-to-face tayo ngayon, mas magandang dito na muna magsimula, di ba? Para parang magaling na sila pagpunta nila sa PGH.
May skills pagdating sa PhD.
Equate with the skill.
True.
Hindi natin to magagawa without the help of our classmates
True.
who generously gave to this project. Even if we have the slightest idea of what the thing we're supporting was at the time, diba? And moving, as you said, from that medicine building to the Henry C. Medical Sciences Center and to the CSL finally. And we look forward to celebrating with the rest of our classmates for our homecoming this year and celebrating also this achievement of being able to help and give back to the college. Maraming salamat.
Nilulat ang mata sa katotohanan, pinukaw ang damdamin para sa mga aba. Galing ay nilinang talino at kakayahan, hanggang sa maging mahusay na manggagamot ng bayan. Itanghal ang ating pinagmulan, pagpupugay sa kolehiyong mahal, paggunita sa ating pinagdalan, UP Medicina babalikan. May nangibang bansa at doon ay nanilaan, ang iba ay nanatili sa sariling bayan. Saan pa man naroon ay pinagbubutihan, dalaman na pangalan, pamantasan na hiniran. Itanghal ang ating pinagmulan, pagpupugay sa kolehiyong mahal, paggunita sa ating pinagdalan, UP Medicina babalikan. Itanghal ang ating pinagmulan, pagpupugay sa kolehiyong mahal, paggunita sa ating pinagdalan, UP Medicina babalikan. Paggunita sa ating pinagdalan, UP Medicina babalikan.
Pagpupugay at paggunita.
Pagpupugay at paggunita.
Pagpupugay at paggunita.
Pagpupugay at paggunita.
Panginoong Diyos, inaalay namin sa iyo ang 2024 bilang taon ng aming pagpupugay at paggunita.
Naway maging pagpupugay sa UP College of Medicine.
Ang lahat ng aming hinandang pagtitipon at pagkikita-kita.
Kasama na ang iba pang aktibidad katulad ng webinars at postgraduate courses.
Sa aming paggunita at pagpapasalamat sa kolehiyong mahal.
Ukawin mo ang aming puso at isipan na handang tumugon
upang mapagsilbihan ang lahat ng nangangailangan
at may sakatuparan ang aming kagustuhan at hangarin
na makakahulusan ng mga proyektong pamamahayan.
Bigyan niyo po kami ng oras, kakayanan at kagustuhan
Na makilahok sa mga gawaing idinakda sa pinagpalang taon na ito.
Isinasamo namin sa iyo na maging matagumpay.
Makabuluhan, kapag-ipakinabang at masaya.
ang lahat ng mga aktibidad mas at ukmasa para sa taong 2024.
Basbasan mo ng iyong mapagpalang kamay
Ang bawat alumni na buong pusong naglilingkod
at nag-aalay ng kanilang oras, talino, kakayahan. Kasama na ang mga nagbigay ng pinansal na higit pa sa pinansyal.
Upang maging maayos at mahusay ang aming pagdiriwang.
Pagpalain mo pa ang lahat ng kasapit ng UP Medical Alumni Society.
At rin ang mga miyembro ng UP Medical Alumni Society in America upang makatulong ng lahat ng alumni sa pangangailangan
ng aming pinakamamahal na UP College of Medicine.
Ang lahat ng ito'y idinadalangin namin sa aming kagustuhan na ikaw ay papurihan, O Diyos, magpakailanman. Amen.
We would like to ask everyone to kindly turn off your microphone and video. Please type your questions in the Q&A chat box. We will try to address all of them in the open forum after the presentation. Evaluation and post-test questions will be available for 1 hour after the initial broadcast. A certificate of attendance will be emailed to you once the evaluation and post-test are completed.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Carlo Irwin Panelo of the University of the Philippines, College of Medicine, class of 1999. I'm the class president and here on behalf of the class UP Med Webinars team to moderate today's webinar. Today's webinar is part of Bridging Gaps, the UP Med Webinar Series 2024, organized by our class that's celebrating the Silver Jubilee Year in 2024. As it is the first of this year's series, we would like to invite our classmate and president for 2024 of the UP Medical Alumni Society, Dr. Ryan B. Capitulo.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of the University of the Philippines Medical Alumni Society and the Silver Jubilarian class of 1999, I would like to welcome all of you to Bridging Gaps, the UPCM 1999 webinars and UP Med Webinar 2024 series. Thank you for taking time out from your busy schedule to attend our lunchtime webinars. For this year, we will be offering evidence-based, relevant, timely, and important updates on various topics in medicine, healthcare, and well-being, which will benefit not only physicians, but all health workers in general. Please help us spread the word. Ask your friends and colleagues to join our Facebook page and attend our free webinars this year through Zoom or live stream at the UP Manila platform or in Facebook. Sama-sama po tayong matuto sa taong ito ng pagpupugay at paggunita. I would like to thank Dean Charlotte Chiong of the UP College of Medicine for accepting our invitation to be the speaker of our very first webinar this year. I'm sure we will all learn and benefit from her session on new challenges in medical education. Thank you very much po, Dean Chiong.
Maraming salamat din, President Ryan. Since this is our first webinar topic for the year, we chose a theme or topic that's closer to home. And that is how to best educate the next generation of medical doctors or physicians in the country. So our topic today is new challenges in medical education. Before we introduce the speaker, we would like to remind the audience that you can type your questions in the chat box even while the lecture is still ongoing. For this morning, we are privileged to have a distinguished alumna of the UP College of Medicine from the class of 1985. Dean Charlotte Chiong currently serves as Professor and Dean of the UP College of Medicine. She is also current president of the ASEAN Medical Schools Network. Dean Chiong was elected academician of the National Academy of Science and Technology and holds the title of University Scientist III, as well as the Alfredo T. Ramirez Professorial Chair and 1 UP Professorial Chair in Otology and Neurootology of the University of the Philippines. She has garnered awards in leadership, research, and education, and over the past 3 decades has held both national and international leadership positions in multiple medical professional societies. Dean Chiong is a pioneer cochlear implant surgeon and continues her work on newborn hearing screening and restoration of hearing among the deaf. Dean Chiong is a proud member of UPCM Class 1985. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud and honored to welcome our Dean, Charlotte M. Chiong, to give her lecture. Over to you, Dean.
Good afternoon. First, let me thank UPCM Class 1999, the Silver Jubilarian celebrants for this year, for the early launch of the 2024 homecoming activities, and of course for inviting me to give the first talk for the UP Med webinars for this year. I've been tasked to talk about new challenges in medical education, and I'd like to do this by giving both a Philippine and global perspective, and also to divide my talk into 3 parts. First part will deal with the basically with the challenges and some of the recommendations based on some literature review. The second will be looking at the global perspective, and the third will be to talk about the UPCM experience. So the empirical challenges of 21st century medical education has been highlighted by Wartman in 2019. And in that particular paper, he emphasized the fact that the future of the sacrosanct doctor-patient relationship is probably going to be redefined because of the changes in the definition of what a professional is. We know that a professional is the bearer of knowledge, but given the advances in technology, the availability of a lot of information in the web, as well as the emerging importance of artificial intelligence, will likely change this relationship, and therefore it's very important for us educators and students to be well aware of the ethical considerations of artificial intelligence, not only in medical education, but also in the practice of medicine. There's, of course, an important shift toward competency-based education and looking at the products of this education to be those who have who bear the professional attributes of a medical practitioner. Education, of course, will have to be harnessed by the proper use of technology, social media, and other technological advances might likely lead to telemedicine and change in the practice of healthcare delivery. And it's also, of course, important to note that there's an increasing emphasis on interprofessional education, as well as being able to address the social determinants of this medical education. In 2016, and also published by the National Academy of Science and Technology as a monograph in 2017, the current status of basic medical education in the Philippines at that time was actually discussed in this monograph. And this is the work of several known educators belonging to the Association of Philippine Medical Colleges. And in this particular monograph, they already stated that the reforms were really essential to achieve the following objectives: prepare the physicians for the needs and expectations of society, cope with the explosion in medical scientific knowledge and technology, to inculcate in physicians the importance of lifelong learning, to ensure the training in new information technology, as well as to adjust medical education to changing conditions in healthcare delivery system. In the Philippines, after the pandemic, there was the passage of the Dr. Sabayan Law. And as I speak now, we have about 69 medical schools in the country, and there will be more being established because of the Dr. Sabayan Law. And this development is very important, such that we need to be able to ensure that educators in these particular schools will be able to deliver the needed medical education reforms that have been stated by the World Federation for Medical Education and the Commission on Higher Education, as guided by the Technical Panel for Medicine, of which the UP College of Medicine is one of the members. In that particular monograph, there was a discussion about the need for updated standards and policies in medical education, ensuring the quality as well as the importance of accreditation process, the need for congruence between medical curriculum and the licensure process, as well as synchronization between medical education and healthcare delivery system, with a note that curriculum will have to be designed in order to address the emerging and hot issues that confront the Philippine healthcare delivery system. There is, of course, a note of increased globalization in the practice of medicine that will entail, of course, a lot of constructive reforms in medical education, especially given the platform for ASEAN regional cooperation in this field, as well as the Philippine quality framework, qualification framework, as well as the need to ensure that the products that we produce will be able to grow even in such context of being able to practice in outside the country. But the pandemic of COVID-19 actually was a dramatic disruption for everyone. The restrictions on social and professional life was very real, and societies all over the world had to contend with how they could contain the virus. And medical education was one, of course, of one that was really impacted, such that restructuring of the curriculum to switch to online learning had to be done in all instances. In a study by Stower et al., among 3,286 medical students from about 12 countries, they noted that medical schools managed to rapidly switch to online learning in around 78%. There was satisfaction in the quantity and quality of online courses with a rating of 67 and 62% respectively, and a greater flexibility of online learning in these schools, around 70%, with 80% of those students in the schools actually comfortable with online tools, being digital natives themselves. Some of the negative findings, of course, included motivational issues in online learning, a lack of chances for interaction, as well as the relative lack of medical education in online learning. And when you look at the local context, a study by one of our faculty, Ronnie Baticulon, in 2021 publication, actually talked about what happened after the March 2020 lockdown, where there was a stop to all face-to-face learning activities and the abrupt shift to online curriculum, and how the study aimed to identify barriers to online learning from the perspective of medical students in a developing country like the Philippines. Notably, there were around 3,670 medical students here, and they noted that in the survey that was done from May 11 to May 24, 2020, they showed that about 93% actually had smartphones, but only 83% actually had computers. Used prepaid mobile data was found in 19%, and only 79% had postpaid internet subscriptions. And in that condition, basically 41% consider themselves ready for online learning. And so the majority actually consider themselves not ready for online learning. So you can imagine the dramatic strain and stress that was generated by this pandemic among our studentry. And it was important for the college to level the playing field by providing those without computers with laptops and computers, and being able to support them with data connectivity all throughout the pandemic. which became priorities during the time. Some of the barriers identified included difficulty adjusting to this new learning style of online learning, having to perform responsibilities at home, and perceived poor communication between educators and learners. You have to understand that the educators at that time had to grapple with the sudden shift, and they had to be more familiar with online tools. Although we had two learning management systems that we employed, one was the UVLE, and of course the Canvas for LU1, LU2, as well as LU3 and 4 students. Medical students in the Philippines actually confronted several of these barriers, as mentioned, and by implementing a student-centered intervention, medical schools and educators actually could play a significant role in addressing the challenges, as we have experienced here at the UP College of Medicine. As stated by Wayne, Green, and Nielsen in 2020, many improvements to medical education are a natural consequence of the disruptive moments. And as we reflect on the COVID-19 pandemic, it's important to ensure that we put more focus on infection control, pandemic modeling, population and public health, telemedicine, and health equity being very much desired. So there were three other papers that I'd like to highlight. One is also a local study by Bakiran and Plata that look at how one school is able to cope with the challenges during a pandemic. One from Hyatt et al. In 2021 and Kearney Hill et al. Also in 2021 from the UK. And just to briefly account for those studies, of course, there were technological limitations, challenges with respect to upskilling personnel for online learning, and lack of clinical exposure among our students. And some of the actions recommended were the shift to primary asynchronous learning, creation of asynchronous materials or even course packs, training sessions for faculty and personnel in the use of learning mediums, and creating learning methods, online P and online OSCE, which we of course all also variably implemented in the UP College of Medicine. The study by Hyatt et al. Also talked about the lack of confidence in the use of e-learning tools, standardization, and lack of knowledge and skills in all these mediums for some of their educators, so that training sessions had to be considered, use of systems and protocols for standardization, and procurement, of course, of the facilities and software that were needed. In fact, when UP system shortened the semester, we had to resort to having our students actually be enrolled in HMX Online for biochemistry as well as for pharmacology for those years, like 3 years in a row, so that we are able to cope with the shortened academic year. While that study by Kearney Hill in 2021 talked about the difficulty in adaptation of traditional patient-based learning, change in the usual team structure that we were more familiar with, the lack of competency and infrastructure for medical educators in the new learning modalities. So that there's always supposed to be a push for modernization of medical education using technology to enhance education and healthcare, being able to upgrade the infrastructure and the human resources to be able to maximize this new technology and methods, and also given the lessons of the pandemic, to further integrate public health, medical ethics, resource management into the curriculum. And we're in the process of making sure that the curriculum of the school, of the college, is actually reviewed regularly in order to ensure especially public health competencies as a result of the recent pandemic. So mentioning, aside from that, as the first major challenge in medical education, quality in teaching, resistance to change, the need for more collaboration, the fact that we have busy practitioners and clinicians who also need to be educators and researchers, biases, including demographics and specialty experience, the competitive roles of being a teacher, researcher, a clinician, and even an administrator, the need for integration, the conflict between individual and groups, as well as the need for developing better assessment tools as educators. These are just some of the global challenges that have been mentioned in the study by many in 2021. So what now and what can we do? So basically, if we want to be able to come up with practice-ready and physician healers for the 21st century, and as I mentioned, the need for 6-star physicians even to be produced in our setting, these are things that probably need some reflection. What steps can medical institutions like the UP College of Medicine or other institutions do in response to these challenges? Well, we need to determine if our institution is currently educating students to be maximally effective 21st century practitioners. We need to explore why and how our curriculum should be different from any of the other schools. We need to commit to reimagining every aspect of education and training. We need to ensure that cultivation of compassion permeates all the aspects of our curriculum. To enable education, research, and patient care to work together to create a learning healthcare system. So that really what is needed is the inevitable reimagining of medical education. And we foresee that there's going to be a decline of face-to-face preclinical lectures and now greater focus on asynchronous learning. The need to the prospect and fostering of better access to global quality education and making sure that these resources are available to our students as well as our faculty and administration staff. To be able to tackle the challenges and limitations of having an exclusive online learning, we need to know the advances in augmented and virtual reality and the possibility that they might be able to fill in the gaps of online learning. And that realization that despite the increased prominence of digital and virtual medicine is still primarily a face-to-face and in-person learning. And therefore, there's always a need to oversee and organize the future of medical education in our setting. The most pivotal aspect of teaching in our setting actually includes still considering the apprenticeship model in which an experienced physician and student can share clinical situations, the imparting of knowledge and learning to be inextricably woven into the actual caring for the patient, so that medical schools really are in a unique position to organize such experiences, because really the core role for medical schools will be ensuring that students' clinical education is able to create an important opportunity to reimagine, reconfigure the healthcare delivery system in the future. Our healthcare delivery system has a lot of challenges, and therefore, especially with the implementation of universal healthcare, we need to be able to think out of the box and reimagine how we might be able to make it work really for the Filipino people. So in that regard, I would like to, the third part of my talk is to talk about our experience here at the UP College of Medicine. When I came in as a 17th dean in an institution that's now turning 118, and this year will be the 115th commencement exercises. The Dean's Management Team and the Office of the Dean, in cooperation with the 42nd Medical Student Council, undertook a college-wide survey among the students. And what we saw there is that there was a very high response among our students. Around 632 out of 889 answered the survey. And the first major concern was infrastructure related. This is, of course, no surprise, given that there was really lack of space for students, for student organizations. Available facilities were really limited. Even venues for research and education activities limited because of the academic center problem. The second main concern was curriculum related. There was a perceived lack of balance and distribution of workload among the LU levels, especially a very heavy load in LU4. And the third main concern was the lack of career advising for students. And however, we also noted that there was a high interest for faculty-related support and student support, as well as mentoring, and that there was a high interest as well in the creation of dual degree options for students, not only during residency, in about 50%, but actually even during the undergraduate medical education. So this jibed well with the Inspire flagship program that I envisioned way back in March of 2018 when I ran for the deanship. So IN for infrastructure, S for science and discovery, which is enhanced by having more partnerships and linkages, making sure that we continue the culture of innovation and leadership in medical education by resource generation, stewardship for our resources, good governance and fiscal management. And of course, the E stands for empowering and embracing wellness, diversity, and a sense of community. Looking back, we've been able to address dramatically the infrastructure problem as we have been able to successfully build the Henry C. Senior Medical Sciences Building. Thank you to UPMAFI, then led by Dr. Rodici with Dean Agnes Mejia, as well as our benefactors, especially the Henry C. Senior Foundation, through my classmate, Dr. Princess C, and of course, the hordes of alumni and friends who contributed in order for us to be able to have this iconic building built on philanthropy, with about 90 million infusion from the UP system reprogrammed savings that we're now using to fit out the upper 3 floors. Another infrastructure development that we embarked on in 2019 that served us well during the pandemic was the digital transformation with the availability of all resources in our website, and being able to access all the services from our homes by use of our computers, and being able to jibe well with the university information system. We also noted the importance of creating graduate programs, as there was a clamor from our students, and I'm happy to note that so far we've been able to develop since 2018. I remember October of 2018, we started our meeting with the College of Public Health to develop this program. We're also in the process of developing the MS Clinical Sciences with a STEM curriculum for several departments like family medicine, orthopedics, anesthesiology, I think even obstetrics and gynecology, and psychiatry. And there's, of course, the possibility of being able to conclude the final phases of the development of the MD and Masters in Clinical Epidemiology. This is just a picture of the October 2018 meeting at the AG Season Hall with then Dean Dr. Romeo Quintos, Dean Romeo Quizon, and their call for stakeholders to inform the way they were going to develop the Masters of Public Health with the MD. And part of that is the integrated session that I was happy to attend just last week. The PhD program, the MD PhD program, has actually come up with their graduates in 2018 and continue to have more graduates who now go into residency or join the DOST for the career incentive programs, or join our faculty roster, especially in the basic sciences. So we're very thankful that we have this very novel MD PhD program that has now come up with more than 200 publications among our students and faculty in this program. And we continue to see a surge in the number of researchers, as you can see here, with well over 1,349 publications from our regular and clinical faculty at almost 1:1 ratio. And these publications notably are more international than local now, and therefore we are elated to see that we are having better exposure of the science discovery aspect of the work that we do here at the UP College of Medicine. And we can see that about 75% of our faculty members have publications. We'd like to be able to increase this about 10% more, hopefully in the next year or so. But we're happy that our faculty are now heavily into research in the majority of cases, and that there's more citation of the works, and our scholarly output have more mileage once there's national and international collaboration, especially with citation increasing with international collaboration, as can be seen here. And that most of the work that we do here, the output is more of those with no industry sponsorship, which is good, and we get also more citations by doing that. About 3.5 billion pesos in funding, as according to the Research Grants and Administration Office, have been poured into the UP College of Medicine projects, totaling around 232 over the past 5 years. And more and more grants, like the Welcome Explorer grant, with 2 new grantees. The publication awards from the Evangeline Olivar Santos Memorial Award has continued thanks to UPCM Class 1965. The interdisciplinary research programs continue to churn out a lot of these publications as well, the Morph and Field Diamond. And of course, our partnerships are growing. We have now an ongoing partnership with USUS for a student exchange program, and with Harvard for our HMX fundamentals, and soon the simulation-based education training for our faculty. And we continue to innovate and lead in medical education with the virtual and digitized anatomy tables that we obtained early into the pandemic, the digital scanner that was provided to us by the SEED grant from IDIG grant from CHED, and of course we have the largest collection of plastinates now that basically enhance the way we teach anatomy, especially for our students. And since we need to be able to test our theories and the way we teach, it's important to also do some research on education. And I'm happy to note a study by Carrillo that showed that formalinized and soft embalmed cadavers were observed to be even most accurate in terms of anatomic education, and that the task-oriented learning in head and neck anatomy that was highly rated by our students may use different cadaveric materials with varied accuracy and utility. Another study by Rubio et al. With the Department of Anatomy look at learner preference with the plethora of the teaching modalities that we have been able to introduce during the pandemic. Medical students still prefer the traditional proctor-assisted dissection, but they see the value of other teaching modalities as an added armamentarium in enhancing anatomical knowledge. And another study by Texon et al. Published recently look and examine the learning enhancement in anatomy program that we started in 2021, and the leap has been noted to be a worthwhile endeavor with garnering overwhelmingly positive reactions among our students, but there's a need for future studies to fine-tune teaching and training in the blended learning environment. So the work continues, and I urge our faculty to consider looking at innovative ways of teaching, trying to use a variety of new methods in order to inspire and excite our students to learn medicine. and be the compassionate physician healers that we want them to be. And that part of that is providing the venues for research. And one venue is the 9th floor of the Henry C. Senior Hall, which is the home for UPCBOL, which is the UP Surgical Innovation and Biotechnology Laboratory, where we have engineers working on 10. I think now we have 3 more projects where we want to be able to produce biomedical devices. And we have an elective already available to our students who want to be introduced to biomedical innovation and product development. It's an elective that's offered by the UP College of Engineering during summer. And we're, of course, thankful that we have Lim Kathong donation in the 9th floor that has provided a really nice space for these programs. We are also, of course, been very fortunate that we have hundreds of millions of pesos poured into the clinical simulation laboratory that we formally inaugurated with Senator Pia Cayetano just a couple of months ago, and that this has provided us opportunities for more simulation-based teaching that it can enhance the patient safety and be able to give a venue for learning medicine in a safer environment for our students. And that all these resources have been also enhanced by donations for the Acta Medica, for example, from the Labor Santiago family. We had the donations from the Potenciano family for the thesis defense room that will soon be finished in the 11th floor. And of course, we have had we have the Soap Opera 2 concert where we had a fully packed PICC where we were able to generate more income to help for the building construction. And of course, the Acta Medica Online is now coming out at least monthly. It's fully online, and we have had at least 5 or 6 issues of the Inspire magazine. And I would like to encourage you to check out the latest Inspire issue in our website. Empowering and embracing diversity wellness includes providing our staff development activities, our students being able to go back to their Taorin Pala and other artistic activities for a more humanist education, as well as for being able to have a venue for their expression through art, through sports, and being able to that was tough, especially during the pandemic. But we have learned a lot from the pandemic, the importance of bayanihan, the importance of taking care of each other. I think as a community of scholars, we have been enriched by the experience of the pandemic, and our process have been informed by a more robust understanding of what is really needed in order to improve medical education in our setting. And that includes not only being able to provide them protective equipment, but being able to provide access to medical education even in the midst of such a dramatic disruption as a COVID-19 pandemic. And I think that it has been a blessing in disguise because of the fact that nobody was here in campus. We were able to build the Henry C. Senior Hall in time, such that now we have been visited by at least different, I think 12 universities, and we have been hosting about 111 delegates in the past year from state universities and colleges who wanted to benchmark with us. And you can see here the dissect tables that were donated by UPCM class 1978, being a very hot product now, being marketed by the Department of Anatomy with the help of the TTBDO of UP Manila. If you want to see this in person, you have to go to the third floor of Calderon Hall to see the motorized anatomy tables. This is the manual type. It was the first iteration of that dissect table. And I'd like to inform the body that we have been able to get the presidency of the ASEAN Medical School Network. So we're hosting the ASEAN Deans Medical Deans Summit in June. Hopefully, we will be joined by some other deans of the other medical schools and increase the membership from Philippine medical schools in this network, and be able to inform them about the many developments that we have been able to introduce to medical education in our college. And before I close, I'd like to, of course, say that we have been able to restore the crucible. It's now, it probably has been reinstalled at the lobby of the Calderon Hall, thanks to the original donation by UPCM Class 56 and the restoration, the dedication of this iconic mural by Salita by UPCM Class 73. So with that, I'd like to close with a video. So I'd like to appeal for some support for the building of the Advanced Surgical Skills Laboratory. The modernization of our mortar will soon start with 50 million funding from the Philippine General Hospital for our mortuary and autopsy services to PGH patients, and hopefully we'll be able to finish all these projects within the next 6 months or so. And I'd like to end this by saying that indeed we've been fortunate really to be able to be part of this community of scholars. Thousands have walked along the hallowed halls of our Calderon Hall and the other halls of the College of Medicine. And those who will be chosen to join this community of scholars in the next year will be welcome to partake of the history of honor, excellence, and service to our nation and the world. It's an incredible community. We've been very fortunate to be able to work together for the advancement of medical education in the country. But since the country is besought with challenges, especially with the implementation of universal health care, with the gaps in human health workforce, having a few doctors than the mandated 10 per 10,000 by WHO, and of course the specialist gap in also in several parts of the country, really the problems can be very daunting sometimes. But as the leader in medical education and the top medical school in the country, I think it's incumbent upon us to help move this forward by producing not only the best clinicians, the best researchers, the best educators for a delivering the best healthcare that the Filipino deserve. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Dean Chiong, for that comprehensive and insightful talk. At this point, we'd also like to thank our sponsor, a generous classmate of ours who wants to remain anonymous, for supporting this webinar. In the interest of time, I can only field one question to our beloved Dean, and I'll try to condense different questions that were thrown into a single query. And Dean Chiong, I'd like to anchor the question in terms of how to produce or develop a 5-star or 6-star physician, particularly what dimensions do we need to exert more effort. And there are some recommendations here or queries as to the role of the social sciences, health communications, and even equity in medical education. Over to you, Dean.
Yes, Carlo, thank you for that question. I saw a lot of questions, but you know, a 5-star physician actually is a practitioner of medicine who's an expert clinician who has great advocacies for community development, leadership, managerial capabilities, being able to navigate the healthcare delivery system, so has a health systems approach, and basically, of course, doing research. And research not only to generate publication, but actually research that can inform development of programs and also health policy. I think that the highest order for a College of Medicine like ours is to be able to generate enough evidence and information that can inform policy that will redound to the benefit of a larger majority of our population. So that to me is a 5-star physician. I added a 6-star physician because of the MD PhD program that basically aims to produce basic scientists that also will have to navigate that research system in order for translation into healthcare delivery and also health policy. So to expand the concept of basic science research to that of translational research and even implementation sciences, I think we need more effort in developing the technological expertise for health technology assessment and implementation science for all the things that we do.
Thank you very much, Dean. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to field the rest of the questions, But as per earlier arrangement, our Dean has kindly agreed to respond to the questions that we can gather from our different chat boxes here in the Zoom platform, in the Facebook Live, and in the UP Manila live stream. Our class will be posting the responses of the Dean when we receive them, and you can access that or see that later in our various social media pages. So at this point, I'd like to summarize the key points from the Dean's lecture today. So we now learn that the Philippines has 69 medical schools and counting, driven by the implementation of the UHC Act and the Doktor Para sa Bayan Act. The disruption from COVID-19 actually kick-started online learning and highlighted the need to integrate public health and ethics in medical training. As a result, there is even greater need to reimagine medical education, and the Inspire flagship program of UPCM, as tempered by the crucible of the pandemic, has evolved to adapt to that challenge as well. So at this point, we'd like to thank Dean Charlotte Chiong for taking time to share her expertise and experience with us today, despite her busy schedule. And as a sign of our gratitude, we would like to present a certificate of appreciation to Dean Chiong. Again, thank you very much, Dean. Class 99 is very honored to have you as our first speaker in this UP Med webinar series for 1999. Thank you very much, Dean. Again,
answering some of the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean.
Very much.
May we now request our audience to please stay for some reminders. So we would like to thank the UP College of Medicine, the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, the UP Medical Alumni Society, and the UP Manila Information Management Service for their support to this webinar series. And again, thank you to our classmate who generously donated to support the conduct of this webinar. So that concludes our first webinar for Bridging Gaps, the 2024 UP Med webinar series organized by the UP College of Medicine class of 1999. We will release the schedules of our succeeding webinars soon, so watch out for further announcements on the UPCM website, the UP Med webinars on Facebook and other social media channels. For those who want to get a certificate of attendance, kindly answer the evaluation form within the next hour. So we're only giving you an hour. You can access the link through the QR code that you can see posted on the slide, or use the URL posted in the chat box. Thank you very much to all our attendees, and thank you very much again, Dean Charlotte Chiong, for sharing your time and expertise this afternoon. Shine 99.
Thank you naman at nakaikot tayo dito. Ang ganda ng lugar.
No, ang ganda talaga mga equipment. Ngayon lang tayo nakapasok.
Mas na-appreciate ko siya kasi the first time I was here, maraming tao.
During the inauguration,
yes.
No? I think this was inaugurated noong September 20. Yeah. Tama?
Kaya ano yung January daw?
Parang soft opening yan.
Soft.
Yes, the open days. Tapos pero yung formal inauguration happened.
Ayaw may piya kayo tayo na yung September.
Yeah, wala tayong idea na yung class project pala natin ganito kaganda.
Yeah.
Kasi we contributed to this.
At least ganito, no? You know where your money went.
Tsaka napakaganda kasi it's something na hindi natin na-experience.
This is something new, groundbreaking for the
innovative. I mean, it's a new way of teaching, so it challenges us, the faculty, also to learn at the same time, so be learners also with our students.
Paano ba tayo natuto ng skills? Sige nga, paano?
Sa tao na
So you want, do one and teach one.
Sa actual person.
Yeah.
Sa Samantalang dito, pwede na nilang practicing yung skills sa mga mannequins na ang gaganda.
So yung refinement, yung like techniques, yeah.
So lesser
Very
ang
nice.
possibility of injuries.
Morbidity.
Kaya nga, nung nalaman ko na pang clinical simulation lab yung project natin, I was really very happy na it turns out na napakaganda ng mga contribute natin sa college.
Alright, so Leonard, we came from the OR setup, no? So here, we're the task trainers room where students can practice already the different procedures like IV insertion, breast examination, blood extraction, and also pelvic exam and catheterization.
May circumcision din.
Ayun, nandun yung circumcision.
O di ba?
Yeah.
Nahirapan ka nga dun sa retroverted, ano?
Yan, nung tinry ko kanina, muntik pa akong mapahiya.
So yeah, so aside from that, there's also a childbirth sim area where patients can, let's go over there.
Okay. Ito yung favorite room ko out of all the simulation rooms kasi this is the OB room. And ito si Lucina, the model for the normal delivery, right? At ito yung baby niya. May pangalan yung baby niya.
Wala, Lucina, baby.
Ang galing, no? The students can actually
Gumagalaw ang bata, Ryan!
They can actually simulate childbirth dito. No?
Yeah.
And all the other drills.
All the maneuvers, like shoulder dystocia, do vacuum extraction,
Bridge
forceps.
delivery.
Yeah.
So for both normal and abnormal ceteria shocks, emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll ask the professors, the doctors to give a scenario that they want simulated. So they also have modules for postpartum hemorrhage, for uterine atony and uterine inversion. So yeah.
Tapos yung SimTech, i-input nila yan dun sa computer. Tapos yun ang gagawin ng
Kailangan the consultant should be very detailed para alam ng mga bata kung how to approach these emergencies or whatever.
Pero kahit face-to-face tayo ngayon, mas magandang dito na una magsimula, di ba? Para parang magaling na sila pagpunta nila sa PGH.
May skills pagdating sa PGH.
Equate with the skills.
True.
Hindi natin to magagawa without the help of our classmates
True.
who generously gave to this project. Even if we have the slightest idea of what the thing we're supporting was at that time, diba? And moving, as you said, from that medicine building to the Henry C. Medical Sciences Center and to the CSL finally. And we look forward to celebrating with the rest of our classmates for our homecoming this year and celebrating also this achievement of being able to help and give back to the college. Maraming salamat.